Hello students, hope you all are doing well. So as we are doing our chapter 3 of macroeconomics, and our today's topic is the GDP and welfare. Simply, as we have studied about the nominal GDP and real GDP in our previous lecture, and the nominal GDP is being the estimation of the value of final goods and services during the current year prices, and the value of final goods and services during the base year prices is known as real GDP. So the difference between both of them is that in real GDP always the prices are stable, but in nominal GDP the prices are varied according to the current years or the years of the estimation. So in nominal GDP the difference may occur also in the quantity or also in the price, but in real GDP the price always remain the same. The changes are also only noticed in the quantity or the value of final goods and services. So by comparing both the nominal GDP and real GDP, the index of real GDP always reflect a change in the level of output, because prices are always constant and there's only a change in the level of output, while the index of nominal GDP may or may not. वहाँ पे prices के अंदर भी change हो सकता है, and there's also a change in the quantity also. So that's why the real GDP is considered as a better index of economic growth than the nominal GDP. Only the reason being prices are stable and the changes are only in the level of output or in the level of the production of goods and services, that's why the real GDP is better than the nominal GDP. So coming towards this topic, the real GDP is considered as an index of welfare of the people. Nominal से जो real GDP है, that is the better as an index of welfare of people. Welfare simply means the availability of goods and services per person. How much people or how much population of a country is being available with the final goods and services, that is the welfare, and how the welfare is measured. Increase in real GDP means increase in the level of output in the economy. How say? As in real GDP prices are constant, as the base year comparison is always the same, so if there is any kind of increase in real GDP, it occurs only because of the increase in the level of the output or level of the final goods and services. All other things remaining constant, it means the greater availability of goods per person, implying higher level of welfare. That means more the population or more the number of people are getting available with the number of goods, so that means there is a high level of welfare of the people in the economy. Higher the growth of GDP, greater is the flow of goods and services. As much as growth of GDP is higher, the flow of goods and services in the economy is also up to the certain point or on the greater part. Greater is the availability of goods and services per person. So that is the GDP and welfare, that is higher the GDP or greater is the flow of goods and services, and the greater the flow of goods and services, the greater the availability of goods and services to the public. But there are certain limitations also of this GDP and welfare concept. That is, there are certain assumptions or limitations that makes GDP as a drawback for the index of social welfare. These are like, first is the distribution of income. There is inequality in the distribution of income. Richer section are getting more richer and poorer are more poorer. So the distribution of income between the rich and poor section of the society is not equal. Because of the inequality or inequality between the distribution of income, the GDP growth fails to reflect a rise in social welfare, as it impacts the poor a lot. Second is the composition of GDP. Composition of the GDP here stands, that means in what kind of goods and services are being produced in the economy. If the goods and services are according to the consumers or the consumption goods are being produced, then it is a good point of welfare. But if there is an increase in the production of only the defense goods, that does not led to any direct increase in the GDP, because the defense goods ultimately provides the economy with the social welfare, but not up to that extent. That means it does not provide any kind of goods and services to the country or to the population of the our society. Third is the non-monetary exchanges. Non-monetary exchanges are kind of those exchanges in which the goods and services exchange take place, but there is no role of money in that. That means goods are exchanged with goods, or not in the form of cash but in form of any other kind. See, that is also known as the barter system. Basically, in very rural or remote areas, the barter system of exchange still prevails. People used to exchange goods with goods other than the monetary exchanges. So here, when there is non-monetary exchange of goods and services take place, it does not count in the GDP of the country, which does not provide the GDP and the welfare part equally. See, the payment for farm labor are made in kind rather than in cash. जो फील्ड्स के अंदर जो लेबर काम करती है वो किसी कैश के अलावा किसी और फॉर्म के अंदर पेमेंट ले लेती है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ फॉल्स ट्रांजेक्शंस रिमेन अनरिकॉर्डेड विच कॉज द अंडर एस्टिमेशन ऑफ जीडीपी, जिसकी वजह से जो जीडीपी ग्रोथ है वो कम आती है. फोर्थ इज एक्सटर्नैलिटीज. Externalities simples refers to the good or bad impact of any economic activity without paying the price or penalty. That means any kind of activity being done in the economy, that is an economic activity, but there is again no transaction, no price or no penalty. They are both the positive and negative externalities. दोनों तरीके से हो सकती हैं. Positive are being paid it through the price and negative are being paid it through the penalty. But there remains no price or no penalty, no kind of transactions between them. Then again recorded the underestimation of GDP, which does not reflect the true position of GDP in the economy. See, example of the positive externalities. Mr. X, a person, maintains a beautiful garden, and Mr. Y, who is the neighbor of Mr. X, enjoys it every day. It adds to the welfare of Mr. Y. Mr. Y getting the satisfaction from that garden, and it added to its welfare, but he does not pay for it. That means again the underestimation or unrecordedness of the GDP growth in the economy. Negative externalities. See, smoke emitted by factories causes air pollution and water pollution. It causes a loss of social welfare, that is again an inappropriate index of welfare. Again, the farmers or the industrialist does not pay any kind of like penalties on these, which GDP fails to count for the impact of these positive and negative externalities, and which reduces the inappropriate index of welfare, or which reduces the estimation of GDP in the economy. So there are some limitations of GDP also as an index of welfare. This all limitations reduces the significance of GDP as an index of welfare. So with this video, we are done with the chapter 3 of economics. Thank you, students.